like to welcome you to the 23rd annual meeting of the Foundation Life Trustees. I'm Cheryl Burkhardt. I'm the president of the foundation this year, and we're going to call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is to determine the number of life trustees voting in person and by proxy. Earlier, proxy letters were sent to all life trustees. At this time, I request a show of hands of all trustees that are present who have not previously submitted their proxies and who intend to vote in person. Thank you for raising your hand, keeping it up. Michael's checking. Got your number?
Yep.
Thank you. Steve Staley has the number that we're voting by proxy.
Yes, Madam President, it is 49.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. There are minutes in your packet. Hopefully you had taken a moment to look over the minutes in your packet. I'll give you that if you need it, or I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of last year's meeting. I have a so move. I hear John Alexander with first. Do I have a second? Have a second from Mr. Fry. All right. All in favor signify with aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right. The minutes are accepted of last year. Thank you. I'm going to request Mike Gutman to come up. He is going to now present the report for the nominating committee. This report, of course, has been recommended by the board of directors. No need for a motion for the financial report presented by Tony. It is simply a presentation. So thank you again, investment chairperson. President's remarks are going to probably have a couple of repeats of what Tony shared, and I just would simply have to say it's because I'm in awe of what our foundation does. I look at how it's grown, and I just see us heading in the right direction and starting to get some steam. And I'm excited about that, and I would hope as grant recipients that you would hear this information and realize the value of what it means. We're going to be handing you an envelope a little bit later tonight, but the information I'm going to share with you means there could be a whole lot more envelopes going out or coming to you again in another format that you would choose to better our community with. So here are the highlights of 2016. As Tony said, through September 30th, we have assets of $8.6 million. We have 21 named funds in addition to our 3 unrestricted funds. That's here in Piqua. That's pretty awesome. Our Hinch Family Fund made its first awards this year. The Scott J. Hinch Community Service was made to Music Warehouse, and that was in honor of Tom Westfall. You know, these are names we know. These are people doing good things in our community, and look what comes back to us when we take care of our community. The Margaret W. Hinch Community Service was made to the Salvation Army, and that was in honor of Susan Pummel. Our 11th annual Cakes for a Cause was an unprecedented success. We auctioned off 79 cakes, and that added over $20,000 to that unrestricted fund. That's just eating sweets and getting treats with your sweets. Next year, the event is scheduled for April 28th. So you want to mark your calendar. And of course, the VIP auction is scheduled for the evening before, which is April 27th, 2017. Last year's Inner Circle campaign included 95 members, and they donated over $26,000. The Inner Circle is pretty unique in the fact that it doesn't ask a lot, but if a lot of us do this little bit, it makes a huge difference. So if you would be willing to give $100 annually, you become a member of the Inner Circle. That's not that much, and it makes a huge difference. Let me go back. Just last year was $26,000 with 95 people. So it doesn't take much. Karen Wendelin, our executive director, she'll be sending out the notices again to people and asking you to join or to renew. So hopefully you'll join or you'll renew. In 2016, the Piqua Community Foundation will have made 45 grants totaling $81,046. Now, comparatively, the first year of grants in 1995, $8,000. Think of those two numbers. Huge difference. and that's where it comes from, within our community. Over $437,000 in total has been granted in 2016, including the grants from the named funds from our personal gifting accounts and our unrestricted funds. I know you heard some of that information from Tony, but I'm repeating it because those are awesome numbers. Just recently, here's the biggie for the year, we received a bequest from the estate of G. William Hartzell, and that's what Tony was referring to that we'd speak about. This is going to establish a new named fund, and it'll happen by the end of this year. The new fund will distribute grants, scholarships to our community, continuing the legacy of the Hartzell family with the Piqua Community Foundation. So again, these are our successes in 2016. We continue to head in the right direction, and it takes grant recipients, getting the buzz going, sharing that with others, and we're just going to keep doing that. Next year, those numbers are going to be even better. So that's all I have to say, which is like way awesome stuff. I'm going to call on Steve Staley now, because that's why we're here tonight, is for the distributions. He gets to have all the fun. So come on up and let's have some fun.
Thank you.
Lori slide one.
Well, do Lori first. Cheryl. Lori's going to be first. Lori's first.
Oh, Lori.
Yeah. Good evening. As Cheryl said, I'm Steve Staley. I'm a trustee, a board member, and also have the privilege of being the distribution committee chairman. Each year we take a few minutes at this annual meeting to share with our trustees, directors, and guests the story of one of our successful grants. And tonight we've invited Lori Winans-Reiser to speak to us about a grant that was received last spring by the Miami County Children's International Summer Village, also known as the CISV. A little bit of history on Lori. She is a Piqua native and well known, of course, as an owner of Winans Chocolates and Coffees. Lori's a graduate of Miami University and who has been involved with CIS ever since she was not selected as a delegate at the age of 11. She has volunteered with the organization for many years, having been a junior branch advisor, a trustee, a board member, a delegation leader to Thailand, the Miami County chapter representative to the global meeting in Norway in 2015, the gala chairperson, the send-off party chairperson, a selection chair, and very importantly, as a parent of delegates. And then for this year's village, she was co-planner, homestay host, welcome party host, leader weekend host, and she also secured 100 new mattresses and pillows. Please welcome Lori Winans-Reiser.
Good evening. Thank you, Steve. How many of you have heard of CISV or have ever been involved? Yeah, I figured there'd be a fair number of you. CISV is a local, a domestic, and an international youth peace education organization. We have been around for over 60 years. Miami County was one of the first chapters to become involved in CISV. CISV was founded by Doris Twitcher Allen in Cincinnati. She was a child psychologist, and she was on a college campus one day and she saw a group of students working together, and they were from different parts of the world, and she thought, how wonderful is this that they're learning how to work together, communicate, and do some great things. As she watched it a little bit closer, though, she said, wow, I think they probably should learn this a little bit earlier in life because they're having a little bit of trouble and struggling. So she devised a plan for an organization that she was actually nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And the first event that she planned was it was called a village. It was for 11-year-olds, and 14 different delegations from around the world came to Cincinnati, 2 boys, 2 girls, an adult leader, and they spent a month together learning about each other's cultures and learning how each other lives, learning about their differences and their similarities. And so that was 60 years ago. I got to attend the CISV Global Conference in Norway last year, and when we went into the banquet room for the last night, there were 4 somewhat elderly people sitting up on stage, and they were introduced as Norway's very first CISV delegation to CISV's very first international village that was held in Cincinnati. So these people were in their 80s. They talked about their experience with CISV, and I'm just going to tell you about it real quickly because I think it epitomizes why this organization was founded and what it still does today. But this was right after World War II. These 2 girls and 2 boys that were 11 years old and an adult leader flew across the pond and landed somewhere where they had to take a train into Cincinnati. And their biggest concern, because the war had just ended, was that they knew that there was going to be a delegation there from Germany. And so they're on the train, they're heading to this camp where they're going to spend a month, and the one man was telling us how he heard someone playing a harmonica and he loved the harmonica. So he walked through the train cars to find where it was coming from, and it turned out that it was coming from another 11-year-old boy that was heading to Cincinnati to spend a month at the CISV village, and he was from Germany. So he just described how they became fast friends before they even got off the train, and those are the types of things that happen still with CISV when we host villages. So we have over 10,000 volunteers around the world. We host over 200 programs every year. Miami County hosts a program every other year, and the Piqua Foundation has helped us numerous times to host those villages. So we had 75 people at the Piqua Junior High School for a month this summer. The total village cost us about $34,000. The Piqua Community Foundation gave us $3,000 of those dollars. And it's just interesting to know that now with Facebook, these kids that spend this time together remain fast friends really for the rest of their lives. And I'm looking at pictures on Facebook now, and I'll say, oh, that picture that's coming out of Egypt was taken at the Piqua Junior High, or that other picture that was taken in our backyard. But one of the things I wanted to ask you real quickly, if you would give some thought to our organization and possibly help us a little bit. If you look on your table, you'll see a postcard. And CISV is an education organization, and what you see there are 4 learning principles. So what we focus on is that we appreciate the similarities between people and value their differences. We support social justice and equality. We encourage the resolution of conflict through peaceful means, and we support the creation of sustainable solutions to problems. If you flip it over on the back, what you'll see is we're coming up on recruiting season, which means that we're looking for 10 and 11-year-olds that will be 11 next summer that might want to participate in the CISV program. The back of the postcard tells you when our information sessions are, if there are families that would like to learn more about the organization, and there's also a piece of paper on your table that tells you where our programs are to this year. So in addition to youth, we're actually looking for leaders as well. So anybody between the ages of 21 and 90, if you'd like to get involved in a CISV program. I led a group to Thailand, my husband led a group to Egypt, and it's a very, very enriching and fun opportunity. So if you look at this piece of paper, you'll see the age categories and the different places where we're going to be sending delegations this summer. And what I wanted to do was show you, this was our t-shirt. CISV USA Building Global Friendships is kind of our theme. And then our village theme this year was Box of Chocolate Village. So one of the things that they did when they came to visit our candy factory and did a tour, and I got to sit in on this part of it, but they talked about how is a box of chocolates like their village. And I mean, what these kids said really touched my heart, and they talked about how what you see on the outside isn't always what you get on the inside, and isn't it much more fun to have a box of chocolates that has all different kinds of chocolates in it, and maybe not just one kind of chocolate. And it became a really deep and meaningful conversation that I think any of you would be proud to have your kids be involved in. So.
Thank you, Lori. That was a great job. Video has to make everybody smile. Let me get my notes out here. It's interesting seeing the CISV program, and tonight's grant recipients are chock full of school grants. Piqua Community Foundation reaching out to the youth of our community. To reiterate, I am a board member of the Piqua Community Foundation and chairman of the Distribution Committee. The Distribution Committee consists of Jim Oda, Bev Pratt, Dr. Mike Tinkler, Dan Raymer, Nancy Johnston, and me. Dan Raymer, Nancy Johnston are board members as well. And Karen Wendland sits on the committee in an ex officio capacity as our executive director, but really is the leading force behind the distribution process, the grant distribution process, the collection of the applications, the communication with most of you that are receiving a grant tonight, and also the ability to give the committee a lot of insight as we're sitting around our table discussing the merits of these grants. So we are forever indebted to Karen's ability and willingness to share that with the committee, and for that I am very thankful. Thank you, Karen. The foundation has been in existence for 23 years, and for 22 of those years we've been distributing monies from the unrestricted funds. And those funds include the Community Fund, the Sperry Fund, and the Donnelly Fund. In that time span, including this year, coming from the unrestricted funds, we've put in excess of $975,000 back in to the community. So that piggybacks upon Cheryl's comments about the great things this foundation is doing for our own community. We applaud all of you out here tonight for helping make that happen with the writing of grants and the opportunity to use those monies to reinforce and do the great jobs that you do with our community and those charitable organizations. I'm going to announce the recipients, ask you to come forward and receive your envelope. You may then return back to your seat. We will not ask you to make any statements tonight. Before we begin with that, I should say in the envelope will contain a summary report that we require every recipient to complete. Those involved with schools need to have that completed and returned to Karen by the end of the school year. The others that are non-school related have 12 months. We encourage you to use a logo on any advertising and or promotion that you may have with your grant. We encourage the use of confirming that these monies and any publications you might have to confirm these monies have been given by the Community Foundation. We believe that is a fantastic way to get the word out of the good works of this foundation. We do insist that you do those things. If you wish to use our form in the envelope, you may do so. If you want to use your own format, you are certainly capable of doing that, and we just ask that all the questions be answered. Also then, in the interest of time, we'll hold our applause until the end, and then those recipients Tonight, after we wrap up this meeting, we'll be asked to stick around for a short while. We will take a group picture out in the ballroom in front of the fireplace. So let's get on with handing out the awards. One of Karen's jobs, too, is to provide me with a synopsis of the organization that we are granting tonight and a quick narrative as to what we are supporting. We'll begin tonight with our mini grants. And the first mini grant today will help fund Piqua Catholic's Center for Early Living. And the center's mission is to cultivate a love of learning within each child in a nurturing, joyful, and Christ-centered environment. The mini grant they received tonight will provide outreach programming by Bruckner Nature Center, and Aaron Grant, the director of the Center for Early Learning, is accepting the grant.
Thank you.
Edison Community College provides learning opportunities that enable and empower citizens, commerce, and communities in Darke, Miami, and Shelby counties. And their mini grant will provide support for a flu prevention project facilitated by the nursing department. And this will allow up to 250 flu prevention or management kits for Edison students and staff. And accepting the grant tonight is Darlene Francis of Edison's nursing staff. Congratulations. The Piqua City Schools provide a safe and nurturing environment in which students can achieve academic excellence and prepare for the future. The next 3 mini grants are being awarded to teachers in the Piqua City School District. Students at Piqua Junior High School in the Media Madness class produce a variety of digital media for the school, including daily video news, public service announcements, videos for school clubs, and more. And this mini grant will purchase 8 digital supply boxes to help store and organize items such as flash drives and SD cards needed for their projects. And fittingly, tonight's recipient is the reigning Teacher of the Year, and she is the grant writer, Diane Fox. And Diane has written many exceptional grants over the years, and she's one of those grant writers when it comes in front of the distribution committee that knows it will be well done and likely supported. A choice-based art curriculum at the Washington Elementary School will allow more than 500 students to grow their skills in art by choosing materials, making plans, and creating artwork based on their own personal styles. Students will be able to explore, experiment, play, and increase their fine motor skills with the wide variety of materials purchased through the grant, written by teacher Jessica Reed. And Jessica is accepting the grant tonight. And our last mini grant this evening is being presented to St. Boniface Church to upgrade the security system for their Caserta Center building. And by adding an audio component to the existing system, a more secure environment will be possible for the students and staff at weekly faith classes, as well as the children participating in the Center for Early Living and those doing community outreach programs in the building on Downing Street. And accepting the grant is Diane Menges, who serves as Director of Religious Education for the St. Boniface and St. Mary churches. Congratulations.
One more mini grant. This one.
I saw Karen say something to Cheryl, and they reminded me that I skipped a grant, so we'll go back on this one here. My apologies. This is Piqua Junior, this is part of the Piqua City Schools mini grants. And second and third graders at Spring Creek Elementary School will be developing higher order thinking skills through the SNAP Circuit project proposed by teacher Jennifer Everett. The project encourages students to read and rely on non-fictional text, understanding their own thought process, and create new ideas through an engineering design process. And Jennifer is here to accept the grant. I've been doing this 16 years. That was my first mistake. It's all
Bound to happen sooner or later.
All right, we're going to move to our standard grants now. Child Care Choices provides child care information, training, and support for families and child care providers in Miami County. And their grant provides for books children receive and supplies used when the story lady visits them and their child care providers in daycare centers here in Piqua. This year's theme is Bring Back the Classics and includes nursery rhymes, fables, and folk tales. And the executive director, Judy Owen, will accept the grant tonight. And we have our story lady with us. And for those of you that have been coming over the years, you'll know that the foundation has looked very favorably upon Child Care Choices and Story Lady grant applications. We thank you. The Dayton Performing Arts Alliance explores ways to connect music to classroom curriculum, helps students learn that the arts are an important part of the human experience, and assists teachers with ways to reinforce student learning. 5 ensembles of Dayton Philharmonic professional musicians, such as woodwind quintet or a string quartet, visit schools throughout the area. Their grant will support visits to Spring Creek and Washington schools this year, and accepting is Cheryl Haney, Foundation Relations Manager of the Performing Arts Alliance.
Thank you.
All right, our next 3 grants go to Edison State Community College. The first Edison grant is awarded to the college's Diversity Committee. The committee seeks to raise awareness and provide educational opportunities to the college community on the concepts of multiculturalism, marginalization, and exclusion. And the project being funded will promote diversity through displays in the corridors as well as outside the building, and accepting the award is Marva Archibald. Edison's next grant proposal comes from the English department. And students in English 122 this year are reading the book, Where Am I Wearing? As part of their coursework, and the author, Kelsey Timmerman, has been invited to Edison's Piqua and Greenville sites this spring to discuss his work. The book examines the way our global economy is affected when we buy clothing made in various parts of the world. And the grant, being accepted by the grant writer, Brian Leingang, will help with the travel costs associated with the speaker's visit. The final Edison grant this evening is being awarded to Bruce McKenzie, Director of Marketing and Communications. And the grant will help Edison market their programs to Piqua residents through a personalized approach, specifically designed to show first-generation college students what Edison has to offer them. And Bruce is here to accept his grant check. Green Street Daycare and Preschool provides children from age 6 weeks through 5th grade with a safe, warm, and loving environment, including modern facilities and educational equipment. And the program is receiving funding to renovate 2 bathrooms used by more than 100 children per day at the center. And Debbie Frazier, the child care director, is accepting the grant. Health Partners Free Clinic increases the availability of health care for the uninsured and underinsured residents of Miami County by providing a clinic for all ages, staffed by healthcare professionals. And today they receive a grant to help provide new furniture in the waiting area, which is used by the over 900 individuals that use the clinic each year. Stephanie Morris is a Health Partners staff member, and she's done a great deal of work on this project, and she is receiving the grant tonight. Our next 4 presentations will go to staff from Lehman Catholic High School. And Lehman's mission is to educate the whole person, body, mind, and soul, for the glory of God and service to others. Lehman's first grant will enhance the STEM plus MM program, which covers science, technology, engineering, math, plus manufacturing and medicine. The funds will purchase a 3D printer to be used to create 3D models of anatomical systems for students to study. And Tracy Hall, a member of the science faculty at Lehman and the grant writer, is accepting the check tonight. Kathleen Klosterman, Lehman's vocal music director, submitted a grant proposal to purchase new sound equipment for use during school musicals, band and choir performances, weekly school masses, and other community events. New speakers, mixers, microphones, and a recorder will be purchased with the funding being presented tonight, and Kathleen is receiving the grant. The final grant to Lehman tonight will allow for the purchase of new chairs to replace some that are 24 years old and still used every week. The new generation plastic and steel folding chairs will be used for concerts and musicals, dinners, and special events for years to come. And accepting the grant tonight is Missy Bennett. Okay. All right.
I'll take 2.
Yeah. We'll just cross this out.
So just stay right here, Missy.
Let you get it and go, didn't you? It's right above it.
Yeah. Mistake number 2. Melissa Bennett, Lehman's development director, is accepting the last Lehman grant. And this grant will provide a variety of science laboratory equipment for students in the advanced placement biology classes, which will allow them to participate in experiments to analyze DNA samples and transform bacteria cells through gene manipulation.
Thank you.
Is there an eye doctor in the room? I'm having a heck of a time seeing this. All right, the Piqua Arts Council enhances the quality of life for all citizens of Piqua by promoting and encouraging the support, development, appreciation, study, and presentation of the arts. And their grant this year will provide support for a new video marketing project for Arts Council activities and events. And accepting tonight is Jordan Nepper, the Arts Council Executive Director. The next 5 grants are being awarded to the Piqua City Schools, and the first 3 are going to the Piqua Central Intermediate School. Crystal Ayers submitted a proposal to help fund the Piqua Central Intermediate School Run Club, made up of students in the 6th grade. Their grant will pay for the students to register for the 5K run, sponsored by the Piqua High School Cross Country Program, coming up in May. Crystal is here to accept this grant, and then she's going to stick around just as Missy did to pick up the next one. All right, this grant will provide 150 bullfrogs to be dissected by the 6th grade science classes under the direction of Holly McElwee, who wrote the grant application. The new building includes classroom labs that are equipped to conduct this activity with collaboration by additional science teachers Veronica Geyer and Michael Schaefer. Holly, the grant writer, Holly McElwee, was unable to attend, so Crystal has been kind enough to accept the check on her behalf. Again, thank you. Okay. 5 left. Piqua Curriculum Director Scott Bloom submitted the next grant, which will integrate sensor technology and science, technology, engineering, math, STEM, tools in the 5th grade science classes at Piqua Central Intermediate. This project will incorporate the same type of technology as sonograms, sonar, and other high-tech audio equipment. And Scott was unable to attend, so Tony Lyons is accepting the award on his behalf. And Tony is our new assistant superintendent. Is that accurate?
You got it right. Thank you.
Piqua High School provides a safe and nurturing environment in which students can achieve academic excellence and prepare for the future. Grant recipient Casey Pace teaches a college credit plus course in U.S. history at Piqua High School, and her grant will help subsidize the student costs for a trip to the Gettysburg National Battlefield. And accepting tonight is the principal, Rob Messick. And if that sounds familiar, you may recall that the foundation has supported previous trips to the Gettysburg National Battlefield, and I think, in fact, one year we had a program talking about that. Did we not? We have. I probably didn't remember that. The final grant for the Piqua City Schools tonight is being awarded to Washington Elementary School. And Christina Watts, literacy coach for Washington, submitted the grant for class sets of literature that support the ELA Common Core standards adopted by the state of Ohio for 2nd grade. And the grant will allow the purchase of 25 copies each of 21 different titles, as well as 10 copies each of 4 additional titles. And Tina is here to receive the grant, as are most of the 2nd grade staff, and we'd be happy to recognize them as well.
Bring them on up.
Tell me their names. Lindsay.
Jane Peck.
Jane Peck, starting from the left around. Jane Peck.
Teresa R.
Teresa R.
Crystal Stevenson.
Crystal
and Lindsay
Stevens.
Penrod.
And Lindsay Penrod. Thank you all. Troy Lions Charities has operated continuously for the past 74 years as a community service organization dedicated to the primary mission of sight conservation, which includes providing eye exams and eyeglasses for needy individuals in Miami County. The grant they received tonight will support the purchase of new vision screening equipment that is faster and better than their current equipment and will allow for screening children as young as 6 months of age. The Troy Lions screen the vision of children throughout the county with on-site visits to preschools, coordinating with health partners. And the treasurer of the Troy Lions, Steve Kaplan, is accepting.
Thank you very much.
On a sidebar, and I don't have the statistics, but the committee was impressed with the number of very young students who were diagnosed at a very early age with problems. And the application went on to say very early diagnosis will enable that student, that child, to not continue with problems from an eyesight standpoint. So what a great application, great job. The last one goes to the Upper Valley Career Center. The center is dedicated to providing the highest quality and most technologically advanced educational opportunities for students in a professional, caring environment while networking with the communities they serve. The grant they receive will provide an updated 3D printer for use in engineering design classes, which are run in a combined program housed at Piqua High School. And here to accept the grant is one of the teachers who wrote the application, Roger Wizard. Well, this concludes my portion of tonight's meeting. I thank you for your attention. I applaud all of the grant recipients. We think tonight's group are preparing to have some great success with these projects, and we wish you well. We look forward to receiving your summaries. We encourage in your summaries to provide us with pictures if appropriate. We will gladly use those in our quarterly newsletter, and we want to also remind you to please stick around for a few minutes for a group picture in the ballroom. And again, now you all remember when I started, I asked if we'd hold our applause until the end, and that didn't happen, but let's give them another round of applause. I welcome back President Sherrill to the podium.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that very, very much. The distribution committee, I know that he went through the names of the individuals that help. It's an awesome committee, and it's got to be a very rewarding committee to work on as well, because look at what that committee gets to give back. So could we please give a round of applause to Steve and his distribution committee. At this time, I would like to present plaques. We have some retiring board of directors. I'm looking around. I'm right now seeing one, as in Sharon. Am I missing anybody? We have 3 that are retiring. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Just Sharon. Okay. Sharon, if you would come forward, please. Sharon served on the board of directors, stepped right in, stepped right up, took on our Cakes for a Cause, and again, this year it just became a fabulous event, and it's your dedication, it's your attention to detail. You and Karen are a lights-out team, so it seems like that just keeps working with whoever steps in and does it, and we can't thank you enough for being a board of directors with us for 2 years and really taking on some big things with that. So thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
We also have retiring board members that are not here. Craig Mullenbrock is a retiring board member. He is also a past president. And Kathy Patton, who is unable to attend tonight. And she, as a board member, has been taking care of the PR and marketing for us for a number of years. So if we could have a round of applause for those two board members retiring as well. What I'd like to say is thank you for attending the annual meeting. Thank you for doing good work in our community, being a part of that process. I encourage you to share the word of what is happening for you, using this as a conduit for our community. Think of it in terms as donors, not just being a recipient of a grant, but keep your eyes, your ears open, those feelers out there, because again, we are moving in the right direction, and it's because of what's sitting here in this room, the recipients and the board of directors. So thank you very much for attending the 23rd annual meeting. At this time, I will entertain a motion to close the meeting so we can do a photo paparazzi opportunity out by the fireplace. I have Steve. I have Mike Gutman with a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, same sign? Ooh, you guys are good. All right. Well, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and good luck with your grants.